Darts isn't just a game you play at the pub anymore. It's become a worldwide sensation, with epic matches keeping crowds on the edge of their seats. Stick around as we dive into the top 10 greatest darts matches of all time. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling darts action. Number 10. Michael van Gerwen vs Rob Cross, 2018 World Championship semi-final. In 2018, the scene was set for a boss-level showdown between the new kid on the block, Rob Cross, and one of the heaviest hitters in the game, Michael van Gerwen. Rewind a year and there was Cross, just a regular guy watching the tournament on TV. He was still working as an electrician at the time, not knowing the thrilling turn his life would soon take. Cross boldly decided to pull the plug on his electrical career and went all in on professional darts. And guess what? His first season in the PDC was like a montage from an 80s action movie. This guy comes out of nowhere and starts clearing the decks, taking out one seasoned professional after another and nabbing 4 Premier League titles along the way. During the big match against van Gerwen, though, Cross was neck and neck with the Dutch maestro. However, van Gerwen's prowess and steely nerves seemed to elude him on this occasion, missing a whopping 58 chances to score points during the match. Things got really tense when they reached the deciding set, with the score at 5-4. Van Gerwen had 5 chances to seal the win, but he missed them all. Cross had his own opportunity with a chance to hit a 140 checkout, but he missed it too. It was an absolute nail-biter. After a seesawing battle, Cross finally managed to land the match-winning dart and snatch the victory.
To reach the world final in his first attempt, Rob Cross in his debut year!
Number 9. Steve Beaton vs Phil Taylor, 2010 Grand Slam of Darts quarter-finals. In 2009, Taylor won the Grand Slam of Darts for the 3rd year in a row, making him the first player to do so. But in the 2010 quarter-finals, Beaton stepped up to take his shot at dethroning the reigning champion, playing 31 legs to decide the winner. At first, Beaton seemed like he might have a chance, but Taylor started to pull ahead, taking a strong 13-9 lead with an average of over 100 points. It seemed this would be another day at the office for Taylor. However, Beaton didn't give up easily. He fought hard and tied the score at 14-all after hitting some crucial throws when he needed them most. Then, in the dying stages of the match, in the 29th leg, Taylor had 4 chances to secure the victory but missed them all. Beaton capitalized on this opportunity, winning his 5th consecutive leg and, subsequently, the match.
2 more. Heart pumping. 1 more. He's done it! Tonight, the Adonis is not...
For that one night, Beaton was the star. He defeated the champion and was affectionately dubbed the Golden Adonis. This memorable win finally gave others hope that the power might actually be human after all. Number 8. Raymond van Barneveld vs Michael van Gerwen, 2016 World Championship last 16. In the year leading up to the Ali Pali tournament, van Gerwen had been on a hot streak. He'd taken home several other trophies from major competitions, including the Masters, UK Open, Match Play, Grand Slam of Darts, European Championship and Players' Championship. To top it off, he hadn't lost a single game in 2 months preceding the championship. In the head-to-head against van Barneveld, MVG had the upper hand, winning 11 out of their 14 matches. People thought he was almost certain to win the upcoming tournament even before it began. But things did not go as expected. Despite a strong average of 105.78, the match took a surprising turn in the 5th set. Van Gerwen was ahead, on track to take a 3-2 lead. Barney couldn't afford any mistakes and needed big scores to catch his compatriot. So, what did he do? He only went and scored a vital 180, followed by a sublime 124 checkout, and the crowd went absolutely bananas.
In front 2-1. If you've just joined us on Sky Sports,
that crucial moment seemed to shift the game's momentum in van Barneveld's favour. Despite van Gerwen fighting back and tying the match at 3 sets apiece, he faltered at the very last step, missing double 20 to take the leg and send the match into a tiebreaker. With a steady hand, Barney took his opportunity, nailing the triple 20 and double 18 to seal the win and knock the defending champion out of the tournament. This surprising upset showed that anything can happen in sports, no matter how skilled you are. Number 7. Michael van Gerwen vs James Wade, 2013 World Championship Semi-Final. This semi-final might not have been as intense as some others we've seen, but it definitely had its own heart-stopping moments. Van Gerwen had already come close to pulling off an incredible 9-dart finish in his previous match, but narrowly missed. Now facing Wade in this semi-final, Van Gerwen was determined to continue his strong performance. He did exactly that, throwing a perfect 9-dart leg he'd so narrowly missed before. But he wasn't satisfied with just one as he stepped up to the oche again. When he hit 2 more maximums in a row, the crowd were beside themselves.
Nobody has ever struck 9 darters in successive legs.
Left with a 141 checkout to secure the never-before-seen double 9-darter, Van Gerwen nailed the first 2 throws. Treble 20, treble 19, and with bated breath, the crowd watched on as the final dart sailed through the air, only to miss the final double 12 by a hair. Despite the heartbreak of missing that history-making moment, Van Gerwen still went on to win the match 6-4. Number 6. Ted Hanky vs Simon Whitlock, 2013 Grand Slam of Darts Last 16. Whitlock was supposed to win easily, given Hanky's lowly ranking of 86 on the PDC Order of Merit. Hanky's underwhelming start, scoring only 27 points, seemed to cement the pre-match predictions and left the crowd less than impressed. Hanky tried his hand at disrupting Whitlock's concentration with some questionable gamesmanship, acting up in front of the crowd and taking his time to remove his darts from the board. But despite his efforts, he was falling behind. By the time they'd played 7 legs, Hanky was down 6-1 on the scoreboard. But then, out of nowhere, Hanky started to turn the tables. He scored more consistently, winning the next 4 legs and closing the gap to 6-5. Then, amazingly, he took the lead for the first time at 8-7. Whitlock had a chance to snatch the lead back, but he missed 3 crucial shots when he needed them most. The match got even more intense when Whitlock leveled the score at 9-all. However, in the final leg, he seemed to crumble under the pressure. Hanky took advantage, winning the match with an emphatic double 20 finish.
Hanky voor tops, hier is Hanky voor tops! Hier is Hanky voor de overwinning, het is dan toch gebeurd!
Number 5. Gerwin Price vs Devin Petersen, 2020 German Darts Championship. Gerwin Price was in red-hot form in the lead up to this battle, having won his last 17 matches in a row. He had triumphed in the Players' Championship and then aced the World Series of Darts final. It's safe to say he was throwing fire at the time. But he wasn't alone. Devin Petersen was riding a wave of good form too. He had made it to the final of a Players' Championship, subsequently losing to Price. But he'd also reached the semi-finals in 3 other tournaments that year as well. The match started with Price dominating, landing some impressive scores. By the time it was 5-1, it seemed like Price would breeze through the match. But Petersen had other plans. He won the next 4 legs in a row, drawing level on the scoreboard.
That happened in the hot white game here in Hildesheim. They really are a knowledgeable crowd and they really appreciate what's happening in front of them.
While it was quite the turnaround, Price was still left with a chance to seal the deal in the 9th leg, but missed. That error came back to haunt him as Petersen took the opportunity and ran with it, taking the win and completing an amazing comeback. Petersen's subsequent victory in the final against Johnny Clayton made this win even sweeter, making history as the first African to clinch a PDC title. Number 4. Phil Taylor vs Raymond van Barneveld, 2007 PDC World Championship Final. Back in 2007, there was a showdown of epic proportions between arguably the 2 biggest players at that time, Phil Taylor and Raymond van Barneveld. Taylor was already considered the king of darts, winning 13 of his 16 world championships by this point. Van Barneveld was fresh on the scene, but he was no slouch either, having won 4 championships in the BDO before jumping ship to the PDC. People were really excited because this match felt like a dream final. Taylor was on fire, having won 21 matches in a row at the Circus Tavern, the scene of this epic battle. Things didn't start well for Van Barneveld, though. Taylor quickly skipped out to a 3-0 lead, and it seemed he would crush Barney without breaking a sweat. But then, something changed. Van Barneveld hit an incredible 170 checkout as he began to turn the tide. He continued to claw his way back, finally tying the match at 6-all and triggering a sudden death playoff.
Not to be left in. He can use that as a guide. Gets the ball. That could be the most important goal.
The deciding set was intense. Both players held their own, going dart for dart. Van Barneveld had a few chances to close out the match but failed to capitalize. Taylor also missed his opportunities to pounce on Barney's mistakes. Finally, after a number of heart-stopping moments, Van Barneveld hit the winning shot and won the championship. Both players put on an amazing display, averaging over 100 points in a nail-biting match that kept everyone on the edge of their seats. Number 3. Gary Anderson vs Mensur Suljovic, 2018 World Match Play Final. Many thought Gary Anderson had a strong chance of winning the 2018 World Match Play Final, despite never having won it before. Nobody was counting on Mensur Suljovic, though, a consistent top-tier competitor in his own right. In the earlier stages of the match, Suljovic trailed. However, Anderson had struggled against Suljovic in the past, so there was always the chance that Gentle might still pull off the upset. And then, it happened. Suljovic started scoring more consistently, turning up the pressure on Anderson. Eventually, he forced the match into extra rounds. In a moment of heart-stopping drama, the crowd gasped when Anderson threw what would have been a match-winning bullseye, only to watch it bounce off the board and fall to the ground.
He really does. Oh, that's unlucky.
He didn't let that get to him, though. He kept his focus and eventually pulled off the win with a final score of 21-19 in the longest ever match play final. In a game of massive ups and downs, Anderson proved himself as one of the elite players of his generation. Number 2. Phil Taylor vs Eric Bristow, 1997 PDC World Championship semi-final. In 1997, Eric Bristow was up against a fresh-faced Phil Taylor. Bristow was getting older, and many thought he was well past his best. On the other hand, Taylor was in the earlier stages of his career and on his way to cementing his legacy as one of the greats. What added to the drama even further was that Bristow was Taylor's mentor when he first turned pro. So this was billed as a master versus student showdown. This was a chance for Bristow to show he still had what it takes to compete at the elite level. However, at the outset, it seemed like Taylor might win the match easily. Bristow kept pace though, and when Taylor was just one leg away from winning, Bristow surprised everyone by hitting a clutch play and winning that leg. It was a moment of defiance, and he even had a few words for Taylor. This sent the match to a deciding set, with Taylor eventually winning after Bristow missed the double 8 with his final dart.
His fate, double 2. And then...
Despite the narrow loss, Bristow had shown that he still had some fight left in him, even against his younger counterpart. Number 1. Adrian Lewis vs Phil Taylor, 2013 Grand Slam of Darts semi-final. From the very start of the match, when Taylor threw his first 3 darts and scored 180 points, it was obvious that the level of competition was going to be sensational. The treble 20 suffered the most punishment overall, with one maximum after another being scored.
We have played 2.
It was like watching 2 boxers swinging for the fences, throwing knockout power with every punch. In total, 32 maximums were scored in 25 legs. Taylor's average score was an impressive 109.46, but Lewis was even better, with an average of 110.99. At the time, this was the most 180s ever scored in a PDC match, and for Lewis, it was the highest average score ever for a player who lost the match. After the game, Taylor said his overall quality of play was the highest he had ever achieved. It was undoubtedly one of, if not the most incredible displays of precision and skill from both players. Thanks for tuning in to our countdown of the top 10 greatest darts matches of all time. Which match do you think deserves the #1 spot? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.